Scotland squad has been announced for the Six Nations, folks, 2024. Gregor Townsend's named 39 guys in his squad. We'll go through some of the kind of key ins and outs of the squad. What's their fixtures list? How do you guys think they're going to go? When I think Scotland, I tend to think the side that could beat anybody on their day. This is pretty cliche. That rhymes. I'm thinking before the World Cup, I think they were the only side to go into France and beat France in France. That was Scotland. But then they're the kind of side that could lose to Wayne Pivac's Wales team. You know what I mean? Like, very inconsistent, sometimes quite frustrating, generally pretty exciting. They've got the same coach as they had prior to the World Cup, so there's a largely kind of consistent feel about the squad with a few new guys in and obviously some guys left out. It's bigger than a World Cup squad, so a lot of names on the whiteboard, but we'll go through them and you guys can let us know your thoughts. I should say this Six Nations preview is brought to you by our friends at eToro. So thanks to eToro for sponsoring this episode. They are the official investing and trading partner of Premiership Rugby. Tackle investing the smart way and join millions of UK investors on eToro today. The friendly platform for serious investors. eToro is a multi-asset investment platform. The value of your investments may go up or down. Your capital is at risk. But yeah, cheers eToro and cheers Planet Rugby for everything that you guys do. Squad-wise for the Scots, like I mentioned, pretty consistent, with a few guys kind of coming in. Like the hookers, Ashman, Matthews, and Turner. That seems pretty steady as she goes. Matthews is the lowest of the three guys with just the one cap, which he kind of got on the back of a few injuries to guys at the World Cup. But he scored 10 tries for Glasgow this season. If Scotland can emulate what Glasgow do at Maltime, he could be a guy to score some more. But in all likelihood, he is probably number 3 of that bunch. Turner with 40 caps, 31 years old, is perhaps the leading candidate. Ashman's one of the younger forwards in the squad at 23. We'll kind of have to see how Gregor goes with his picks, but there's no real bolters in that mix. Dave Cherry is one of the guys who, since leaving the World Cup, fallen down the stairs. I think maybe he's done. We'll have to see. I think he's older than all of those chaps. Props, Batty, Ferguson, Hepburn, Hurd, Nell and Schoolman. So you got 2 uncapped guys in this Scottish propping stocks. It's Alec Hepburn and Will Hurd. When I say uncapped, I mean for Scotland. Obviously, Alec Hepburn played for England a number of years ago. I think back in 2018. Played a handful of games, but hasn't played any games internationally for a number of years. Now eligible for Scotland. So, yeah, would the law change? He has been picked. I'm not sure if I saw that one coming. Probably not, but Gregor Townsend talked up his scrummaging, and that tends to be why you pick props. He plays for Exeter. They tend to be a side with a decent scrum, so there you go. Will Hurd, on the other hand, 24 years old, opposite end of the experience scale, but also uncapped for Scotland. Played for Scotland under 20s, so yeah, it'd be good to get him a taste of international rugby. Nell is the oldest of the squad at 37. I would imagine the starting 2 props are still Ferguson and Schoolman, but we'll have to wait and see how Gregor goes with his picks. The locks, no real changes. Cummings, Gilchrist, Gray, Skinner, and Glenn Young. Like I said, there's no real dramas there. It's pretty steady as she goes. I still feel like Scotland kind of lack that one world-class lock. Like, you've got players in other positions who put their hands up, who've got great stats. The locks are all fine. Like, I used to love Johnny Gray because he's got that point of difference and that he was an absolute tackling machine. He was coming back from a huge injury. I don't think he's got himself back in the international mix yet, or whether he ever will. I know he's not everybody's favourite because people say he's too one-dimensional, just does his tackles, but that was his point of difference. It's one of the things that he was always kind of the top player for, was his defensive reads and big tackle counts. But it's just basically the same guys in that second row. Back row tends to be pretty blessed with talent. Bayliss, Christie, Crosby, Dard, Dempsey, Ferguson, and Ritchie. And speaking of guys who make lots of tackles, there's no Hamish Watson in this lineup. Gregor did say that it's a selection thing rather than injury thing. He just said he's happy with the blend of flankers and number 8s that he's picked. And I guess with the Mish being basically a specialist 7 and he's got Rory Darge there, he doesn't need the Mish. So, as I said, stats guy, Darge has been better than the Mish for a little while, so I understand the pick. Darges, I think, coming back from an injury as well, but he's an absolute tackling machine, turnover machine. You got Christie, who's been making a load of tackles. Matt Fagerson's got a huge work rate. I rate him probably higher than sometimes the Scotland coaches do, because they like to put him on the bench sometimes. Jamie Ritchie, always going to be there, but will he be captain? That remains a question, because they haven't confirmed a captain just yet. They have said that Jamie Ritchie's still got a bit of an injury which he needs to overcome before they can confirm the captain, but that may be a little nudge for somebody else to have a go captaining the side. Not sure just yet. So, yeah, a couple of uncapped props, and otherwise pretty steady as she goes in terms of the forward selection. For the backs, also pretty steady. A lot of areas like the halfbacks, Horn, Price, and White, really steady as she goes. There's no dramas there. Those are all the guys who you would expect to be there. You've got Ben White playing as like rugby in France, and then one guy from Edinburgh, one guy from Glasgow. I'm still getting used to seeing Ali Price where he is now, but yeah, that's professional rugby. Guys move around. Adam Hastings is one guy who is back in Scotland colours. He's going to be competing, I assume, with Ben Healy for the kind of backup role. I don't see Finn Russell being replaced just yet, but he is the oldest of the three guys they've picked at 10 at 31. Hastings was obviously injured for World Cup time, so Healy got at least that one game where he started against Romania. But yeah, Healy at 24, he's getting a lot of points in the URC. He's kicking from hand, he's running the show pretty well with Edinburgh. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting conundrum for Gregor, but I still reckon he goes with Finn. Hutchinson, Jones, McDowell, Redpath, and Tupolotu are your midfielders. So I guess a little bit in the kind of inexperienced area with Hutchinson only having 8 caps, Redpath 9, and McDowell the 1. But then, that Hugh Jones and Tupolotu combo has been pretty effective for Scotland thus far. Don't know whether he'll break that combo up, because like Hutchinson's been in really good form for Northampton. Yeah, it's a good problem to have for Gregor Townsend. What can I say? Chris Harris being omitted is the obvious choice there, but I mean, he is 33. He's playing for Gloucester. They're not playing that well, so it's just one of those ones, isn't it? Those Scottish guys who went, like Rory Sutherland, went on that Lions tour. It seems to be a little bit cursed. There's been a few guys who went on that tour to South Africa who've never kind of been the same. The Mish, I guess, as well. Outside backs, this is the area where Scotland have game breakers, absolutely. You've got Darcy Graham, Aaron Reid, Kyle Rowe, Kyle Steyn, Duan van der Merwe, Blair Kinghorn, and Harry Patterson. So, I love watching little Darcy and big Duhan on the wings. I'm very much a big fan. I've said it multiple times. I'll say it again, of that kind of big man, little man combo. They are both phenomenally gifted attacking threats. They both get clean breaks. They both bust tackles. I think Duhan is currently sitting as the top guy in the URC for busted tackles. So, yeah, absolutely dynamite. And then you got Aaron Reid, uncapped guy, playing his rugby in Sale, looking real dangerous. Played in England under 20s, but Gregor said, attacking ability, aggressive defender, quick. Exactly what you'd want on a winger. Blair Kinghorn's been playing some Champions Cup rugby for Toulouse and looking the part, so that's encouraging. Harry Patterson comes in, relatively light on experience, also one of the other kind of uncapped guys, but played some Scotland under 20s. I think he's had 9 games for Edinburgh, so Gregor talked up his attacking edge and his kicking game, so whether he gets a game, I don't know. It is certainly a chance for Gregor to have a look at some of the guys who haven't been in Scotland camp before. Average age of the squad is just over 27, so still relatively young in the scheme of things. I've seen a couple of the other squads, namely Wales and Italy thus far, and they are younger. Average cap's 26, so kind of in that middling area at the moment. It's not a full clean out, and it's not like a leftover squad with all the senior guys from the World Cup, all the kind of 33, 34-year-olds who haven't yet retired. So they're kind of in the middle, the Scots at the moment. I forgot to mention Ollie Smith. He's injured, so that's a shame, because he's another kind of one of those cracking, attacking outside backs. But yeah, fixtures list. Wales away. You need to win that one. Warren Gatland's picked a young squad. Wales away, France at home, obviously a very tough game, but at Murrayfield, who knows? England at home, you need to win against the old enemy. Italy away, you need to win that one. That's, traditionally been the easy game. They've got a new coach and they've got a few new debutants in their squad as well. And then you got an away trip to Ireland as a Six Nations decider, potentially. Maybe I'm dreaming. Maybe they just throw the whole bloody thing away by losing to Wales in the opening round. It would not surprise me either way. But we'll kind of have to wait and see what happens. Gregor seems pretty positive that the squad has not changed too much, but that the changes they have are positive. So, yeah, you guys let us know your thoughts on the Scottish squad. Cheers again to eToro and Planet Rugby for looking after this episode, for sponsoring it. And, I'll talk to you guys again soon. Together.